Hi everyone, it's Michelle. Welcome to week one. I hope that you had a chance to take a look around the course site and get yourself a little bit orientated. If you haven't taken the time to do that and you're just diving in, I am going to encourage you to please just slow down a bit, back up, and possibly watch this welcome video as an introductory to the entire course. It's not mandatory, but I certainly do recommend it because I want you to know a little bit about the course before you jump all the way in. With that being said, let's drive ourselves down here on the page to week one. Week one is pretty straightforward, and this is how I will format each week for you. You'll see the overview of all the things you need to be doing that week, and that's a little bit helpful if you're a planner like me and you want to know what's everything I got to get done for this week. So for this week, you're going to be reading the first chapter in our text, which is on contemporary issues in education. I hope you really like the text. It is comprised of different authors writing on different topics that are current, some are older chapters, but still very valid. And we're going to be asking you questions about those chapters, all right? So for this week, though, you're going to use chapter one as part of your introduction discussion. And I know I mentioned this in the welcome video, but I'm trying something a little different here with your introduction, and that is to have you create just a very quick verbal recording, of course it's verbal, an audio recording of yourself, using this tool called the Twisted Wave. I'm not going to click on it because it interferes with my recording that I'm doing right now, but if you click on it, it takes you to a quick website, and there is a place where you just open up to do a recording. There's a red button. You record yourself responding to the things that I have here, briefly sharing information about yourself, things like years of experience, where you teach, what you teach, and if you have a fun fact about yourself. Honestly, I know it seems a little weird to ask that, but that's some of the best conversation starters that we have. And then list 5 to 7 issues you believe are of the most importance in teaching and learning. Rank those issues, basically from 1 being the most worthy down to 5, 6, or 7. You probably want to have that written out before you start. And then finally, use the information from chapter 1 in our Ornstein text. And in particular, there's a table that outlines the various philosophies. And I want you to talk to us about which philosophy you believe really fits best with your own personal philosophy of teaching. Explain how it connects to or has influenced the issues that you've chosen to be most significant. So you can see the connection. You're going to tell us about yourself, you're going to talk to us about the issues you think are most important in teaching and learning, and then you're going to talk about your personal philosophy and then connect it to the text in chapter 1. There's a table that has various philosophies, and I want you to find yourself within that table and then talk about how that's influenced your selection of issues that you think are most important. All right? So once you've completed your podcast, you're going to connect to your Augustana Moodle account, and you'll have saved it in your Google Drive, and then you'll just upload it right here to the discussion forum. And if you click on the discussion forum, you can see the instructions are repeated again for you, but here's a place to add a new discussion topic. So then you click on that. Let me slide down just a little bit. And there is where you can drop your file. You can see right there. All right? So if you have any trouble with that, please do not hesitate to contact me. I want to help you with it. It's supposed to be a fun activity. It's supposed to be a way for us to get to know each other on a little bit more personal level because we get to hear each other talking. So I really do hope you enjoy it. In addition to reading chapter 1 and completing your podcast, we are going to be starting our first current events discussion forum. And you can see I've divided our class up into 2 groups. You're either in group 1 or you're in group 2. If you're in group 1, you will be finding a current events article to post on. If you're in group 2, you will be reading at least 1 or more current events articles and responding and replying to them in the forum. I want to go up right now to the directions, and if you watched my video earlier, I remind you that all the instructions for the activities are all up here under contents. I'm going to click on discussion forum instructions and grading, and it tells you that we're going to do this 4 times. So you're going to find 2 articles and you're going to reply to 2 articles. So that's going to comprise your 4 weeks. So you're either going to be finding a news article and then you're going to write about it. When you write about it, this is what you're supposed to do. Within the posting, you're supposed to briefly, within 1 paragraph, explain the overall idea of the article. That is worth 2 points. You should list some specific details from the article. That is worth 2 points. Tell how the article is related to an educational issue or issues. That is worth 3 points. And then finally, explain why anyone invested in education of children, adolescents, like administrators, teachers, paraprofessionals, coaches, parents, etc. Why would anyone invested in education benefit from reading the article? I promise you, when I go to score your post, I will look for all of these things within your post. All right? And then if you are not posting this week, but you're responding, you are going to, right here, it's those students who are not sharing a particular article will be expected to reply to at least one classmate, and your reply should be at least 3 sentences in length. Obviously, I'm looking for a substantive reply. If you just say, thanks for your article, I really enjoyed it, can't wait to see what you post next, you are not going to get all the points. You have to react to their article. Find something within the article that touched a nerve with you or resonated, something they said about why they think it's important and how you relate. I am looking for you to really dig into the article and react to it. All right? So let's just talk a little bit about the articles itself. This is the other piece of the activity that I think is really important, which is that you are not to use journals or magazines that are written for educators. We see stuff all the time. If you're like me, my inbox in my email is full of current events articles that are written from the educator perspective, from a professional journal perspective. That's not what we're looking for with this activity. With this activity, you should be using an article you find in a source that anyone can access. And that means it's going to be something like a newspaper, or maybe it's a TV reporting piece that you saw. Perhaps it's an online article that is in a very general site that anybody would access. If you send me an article that's from something like Edutopia or EdWeek, I'm going to tell you to go back and try again, because those, while they're very good articles, are not what I'm looking for here. I want it to be something that anyone in the general public can access. Okay? Please let me know if you have any questions about that. So again, I'm just going to take us back here. And that's going to be it for you for week 1. You're going to read the chapter. You're going to respond to these items in your podcast that you're going to put online, or you're going to post here in the introduction discussion forum. You do not have to respond back and forth to every classmate. I will be reading or I'll be listening to everybody's podcast and probably posting a little bit to each of the podcasts, but you do not need to do that, but you're certainly welcome and encouraged to listen to multiple podcasts, okay? It's a great way to just touch base with people who you've probably been in class with before. A lot of you know each other and I don't know you, so this is how I get to know you. All right, and then of course don't forget about your current events. Remember, this group is the group that is finding the article, one that's in the general public. Group 2 is the group that is responding and reacting to the articles. You need to react to at least one article. All right, that is it for week 1. I hope you have a great week, and I will see everybody online.